Hello, hello out there. How are y'all doing today? I am looking to see and make sure that tech is functioning fully. It looks like it is. If you're hopping on, please feel free to confirm that you can see, that you can hear me. I am Regina L. Henry, your principal life architect. I help you to design the life that you want to live. And today I want to get back into one of our time talks. I am back from vacation. I rested well. It was the first vacation that I can remember that I brought work with me, as I always do, but I didn't do any. The only time that I worked was when I did my live last week with you, which doesn't feel like work at all because it's just us having a little chat, right? So I feel completely rested from that vacation. However, I do have a confession to make. I came back and sat down Sunday night, as I always do, to kind of plan out my work schedule for the week. What appointments I have, what commitments are on the agenda, the things that I need to do for clients. And I began to feel this overwhelming sense of overwhelm, basically. Um, oh my goodness, do I have enough time? Is there time for this? Is there time for that? I found myself getting worked up because I didn't feel like I had control over my time. Partly because I have commitments that I have towards for clients, which I love to do, and I have commitments in for meetings and other things that I'm doing, but I just completely just felt out of control, and it made me start thinking about this whole idea of control and how important control is to us. A lot of times when we feel out of control, we feel a sense of insecurity. And honestly, what I realized through this experience this week was that it's okay to not always be in control of everything. And when it comes to time, it can't be controlled. Time is not a concept that is meant to be controlled. I mean, I had to really spend time and pull back a little bit, take a sort of eagle's view of all that I had going on in my business, in my personal life, and really start to consider that maybe I need to invite time into an engagement with me in a little different way this week. I had even forgotten what I taught you about, hey, time. How are you? Let's work together today. I had completely abandoned my own practice. And that happens sometimes. And that is why we have to have reminders. We have to have things in our lives to bring us back to the frameworks that give us the sense of security that we need. Because control is not always the thing that provides the security. It is the tried and true, proven design or frameworks that actually give us that sense of security that we know, even if don't know how something's going to work out, we know that it will work out. And so that's a lesson that I myself had learned this week. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put the items that I had planned to talk to you about off to the side for another time and talk to you about this thing of control and how to take a step back and consider it differently. One of the things that came up for me in just thinking about this whole concept of time and control and how we control time, which we actually don't, is really to think of partnering with time's purpose. And that is more of a way for us to enter into that engagement with time. The purpose of time is really not for us to sort of squeeze everything in that we can possibly squeeze in. It is really just a concept. And a concept is something, a framework for our brain to be able to classify or make sense of the world around us, right? And time's purpose is to serve us, not for us to serve time. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes when we have things that the things we do have control of, such as the appointments that we engage in or that we put on our calendar, or the things that we have in our ability to make decisions about, many times we are simply putting things onto our timeline, onto our calendars, into our planners that are not necessarily things that we want or need in to do. And we allow these external shoulds. Oh, I should go and support this person at this event, or I should make sure I visit this other person. A lot of times we have to make sure that we are making choices that are in alignment with our core values. And that's what I mean about making sure that time is serving us and we're not serving time. And we partner with that purpose by what I taught you last week about inviting time in and engaging. But like in any other relationship, our relationship with time is really built up and cultivated and developed based upon our communication about time. How many of us have relationships with a spouse, a child, a friend, a sibling, a parent, even, where we are able to have a healthy one where the communication about that person is poor? I would probably say that's not the case. Any person that you're going to have a healthy relationship with, you need to be speaking positively about and speaking positively to. And it's the same with time. When we are communicating about time, most of the time we are using idioms that have we've heard from generations before us. Things like, oh, time is flying. Oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, we wasted time. Oh, I spent time. All of these different pieces around time that actually speak negatively or create a negative frame of mind when thinking about time. So, how can you be in a healthy relationship with it if we're always speaking negatively about it? I'll give you the answer. Not necessarily to that question, that's rhetorical. But the answer or the solution to that problem or challenge is to engage in some expression in ejection. I call it expression ejection because many times we're not even aware of the expressions we use. A lot of times we might say, "Oh, I would die for those shoes," speaking death over ourselves, right? And some time ago in another lunchtime live, I talked to you a lot about your words and how critical it is that we keep the language that we use, not only the external language, but our internal language, that we keep it positive. Because when we are speaking positively to ourselves and to others, we are able to cultivate a healthy growth and development in ourselves and in others. It works the same with time. So this week, I am challenging you to pay attention to what you're saying as it relates to time. Every time time. Every time you consider time or speak of time, or I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. These expressions drop out of your mouth. Try to find a new way to reframe and rephrase what you're trying to say. A lot of times I'll say, oh, I wanted to this. I even said this earlier today with when I was in a meeting. I said, oh, I wanted to get that done, but I didn't have the time. And I stopped myself and said, no, that's not it. I chose to engage with time differently than taking care of that thing. So I am encouraging you on your journey to partner with time and to tap into the limitlessness of time. I am encouraging you to focus on your expressions this week about time. What are you saying? And eject anything that is negative, anything that is causing you to consider time as if it's scarcely there, or something that is, as a friend of mine says, calls it time poverty mindset. Okay. And if you want more information, more time talks, tips about how to use your time and how to tap into time's limitlessness, join me in the Genius Lab. Hit that link below and I'll meet you there. See you next time for another Lunchtime Live. Bye, y'all.